Prep Bowl 28, we've got the kickoff of the 1A game coming up very shortly. You're watching the state championships, Prep Bowl, only on 45. Welcome back to the Metrodome. We are in between state championship games. We've already crowned one state champion, the 9-man Stephen Argyle. Our next game coming up in 1A, Adrian will take on Minneota. Two other. We are only minutes away from the kickoff of the 1A state championship game. For the call of this one, let's head up to the booth. Eric Nelson and Corbin Lucina.
All right, thank you so much, Phil and Corbin. And this is a rematch of the season opener, Little Sioux Conference, Adrian and Minneota. And when you talk about the Adrian Dragons, you have to account for Andrew Loneman. He's a sack master.
He is, and he's a ferocious kid, a very high-intensity, physical-style player, number 21 for the Adrian Dragons. He's somebody we're going to key on today a little bit, and he's going to present some challenges for this Minneota team. But, you know, on the other side of the ball, we've got to deal with running back Brandon Anderson for this Minneota squad. Comes into this game with 32 touchdowns, 1,600-plus yards. You know, last week he had 3 touchdowns, so it's a rematch. Minneota came out on top earlier this year, but it should be a good one.
Yeah, Brandon Anderson, he lives in the end zone, so they need to keep him out. All right, coming up, it'll be the Class 1A Championship, Adrian and Minneota from the Metrodome here on Channel 45.
Welcome back to the Metrodome for Prep Bowl 28. The 5th member of our broadcast team is standing by down on the sidelines, the one and only Leah Biolson.
All right, well, thank you so much. Well, Minneota's feeling very confident about coming into this Prep Bowl with their perfect season, 13-0. But many teams have said that if you can shut down Brandon Anderson with his 32 TDs on the season, you can stop this team. But Minneota's head coach, Chad Johnston, told me earlier that's simply not true. He said, we have lots of seniors on this team. We like to pass the ball as well. We can run it. He says, we feel confident coming into this game, and he said, remember what happened earlier in the season when we beat this Adrian team. Guys?
Thanks a lot, Leah. Justin, this is a rematch, but this one, I mean, Minneota is a tough football team.
Yeah.
Is this one even going to be close, dare I say?
Well, Minneota has so much balance on offense. You know, they average 51 points per game. They got a great kid that can pass the football. They have a great rushing attack. You know, again, you mentioned Anderson with 32 rushing touchdowns. But again, Adrian lost that opener 43-13. They're down by 30 points at halftime. But anytime you have to play a team a second time, it's a lot more difficult to beat that team because they know what to expect.
That's what they say, and they've seen them play one game already. And I mean, they never gave up in that football game either. And it's one game for all the marbles, Justin.
Yeah, and for Adrian, really a team that really commits to running the football. They have to find a way to find success running the football, control the clock, and keep that Minneota offense on the bench.
This should be fun to watch. Minneota, you talked about their high-powered offense. I mean, Adrian, how can they combat that?
Well, they just got to, you know, they've seen them play before. So, again, you got to stop their offense. You got to spread your guys out, try some different schemes to put pressure on their quarterback in running and passing situations, and then, again, hope for some turnovers as well.
Okay, thanks a lot, Justin. We are almost ready for the kickoff. Let's go up to the booth. Eric Nelson and Corbin Lucina.
All right, thank you, guys. And we are going to crown a 1A champion here in a couple of hours, Corbin. And you talk about coming full circle. These teams began the season. They will finish it. The question, I think, is, will Adrian be able to somehow find a way to shut down the potent Minneota offense?
Well, I know one thing, and that's this. The Adrian Dragons, they're in this game because they deserve to be in this game. And so they had a loss early in the year to Minneota that they're not happy about. They felt that Minneota was a little bit more prepared in that game early in the season than they were. And so now things are different. It's a new game. We're going to have kickoff, and now it's time to play.
And Dickman's kick is a squibber, and we're underway. It's covered up at the 34-yard line by Corey Bolton of Minneota. So the Vikings, the Minneota Vikings, playing in the home of the Minnesota Vikings, wear the blue jerseys, yellow numbers, gold pants, gold helmets. And Adrian in the white jerseys, the blue pants, and the blue numbers, the white helmets. So we're underway, Class 1A championship. And this is Sam Darrant, their quarterback, and he flips it out left side. It's caught for a gain of 11, and that'll be a first down right out of the gate as he hit Brandon Anderson.
You know, and Brandon Anderson is a kid that, you know, today we're going to expect to see him carry the ball quite a bit, but he's also a weapon out of the backfield as a receiver.
Well, Derek, you saw his numbers. Very prolific passer for the Minneota Vikings. 1st and 10 after the first down pickup. Derek on the shotgun sneak, if you will, gets a couple. It'll be 2nd down and long.
You know, on second play of the game, we're talking about Andrew Loneman making a play already. We featured him, you know, in the pregame stuff, and this is a high motor kid now. This is a defensive end. This kid wants to be in on every tackle, and we're going to be talking about him a lot today. Andrew Loneman with that stop on the last play.
Yeah, he's got 16 sacks this season. That's a school record. Well, he likes to bag up quarterbacks for a living. And they're going to run it. And that's Brandon Anderson, and he is stuffed for a very short gain, and that's the guy that Adrian certainly will be keying on. Somehow contain Anderson.
You know, and when we talk about Minneota, you know, Sam Derrick, the quarterback, and Brandon Anderson. And Derrick, the thing about him is he's going to throw the ball to a bunch of different receivers, and so we don't necessarily have to focus just on Anderson. So those are 2 big players for that team.
Derrick down the middle. Will Kirka had Velcro on his hands there. Kind of a mini post, and what a snag by Kirka. That'll be a gain of 19.
Nice separation by Kirka. He's able to get away from the defender and make the catch. The key thing there is he got his body to the ball and he let his hands make the play. So nice job there by Kirka. We're going to see much more of that today from him, I'm sure.
35th catch of the year for Kirka. 2nd leading receiver for the Vikings. So the Minneota Vikings averaging a ton of points each game. Averaging 51.9 points per game. Have it at the 32 of the Dragons. Anderson, a little stutter step, and he's able to rip off a gain of about 7.
You know, some of the things that the Adrian Dragons have got to be concerned about today is they've got to contain Brandon Anderson. And how do they do that? They've got to play more men in the box and shut him down. And the other thing is they can't worry about the first time when they met. And they only lost 43-13. They can't think about that today. On the other side of the ball is the Minneota Vikings have got to control the tempo of the game and contain Loneman, because Loneman can really disrupt this game.
And today's game plan brought to you by Education Minnesota, the State Educators Union, keeping Minnesota smart. That was Tony Noyes on the carry. And Noyes able to get the ball down to the 19 of Adrian. The Vikings and the Dragons, we've just started this Class 1A championship game. Minneota, a spotless 13-0 on the season. Adrian, 11-2. One of those losses to Minneota. Anderson to the house. 19-yard touchdown scamper for Brandon Anderson, his 33rd touchdown of the season.
And that's what Adrian needed to be concerned about early. You know, Anderson up the middle, just an inside trap play. He's able to find a crease and just exploit it. Good blocking up front. Anderson is something they're going to have to shut down today in order for Adrian to be successful.
So that didn't take very long as the junior gets the touchdown run. And Santos extra point good as you watch Anderson run it in for a score. This is the Prep Bowl on Channel 45. And the first quarter is brought to you by AAA Minneapolis. Great savings, peace of mind, all from your AAA. So the Vikings of Minneota didn't take long. The 7-play, 66-yard drive took 2 minutes, 32 seconds, capped off by Anderson's 19-yard touchdown run. Bullerman has trouble picking up the football, and down he goes at the 20 for Adrian. So our first look at the Dragons on offense today here in this Class 1A championship game. They're already down 7-0. Quarterback is Brett Nowotny. He's a senior. They'll start in the I. And we could have a double pass here. Dickman to throw. And it's knocked down. They tried the handoff and then the throw by Dickman, but Tony Noyes was not fooled there, Corbin, for Minneota.
No, he really wasn't. What they're trying to do here is Adrian is known as a team that's going to come out with some heavy personnel with multiple lineman sets and force you to play that run up top. Now, for them to come out, I like that choice, though, to keep this Minneota team on their heels a little bit. They've got to play that play also.
There are the numbers for Nowotny on the season. Brock Bullerman turning the corner, and Brock Bullerman runs it out to the 28. It'll be a gain of 7. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Adrian Dragons. Good look at Bullerman, who kind of hobbles back toward the huddle. Now he's going to come out and take a break on the sideline. May have dinged his ankle a bit. 3rd down for the Dragons. And they come with that beef package, that full house look. And that's the big man, Koplo, who's an offensive lineman. But the no-go, credit Bo Bicey on the stop. Great penetration.
There's a couple of the players we're going to be watching a lot today. Brock Bullerman, running back, coming in with over 1,300 yards. And Andrew Loneman, we talked about a little earlier, how disruptive he can be to offenses.
And here's Dickman. He does it all for the Dragons, including punt. And on the return, this is Noyes. And Noyes able to wiggle down to about the 46 of the Dragons. Minneota with the ball. And they have the lead here on Channel. All right, Randy Strand and the Minneota Vikings have the lead over Adrian. 7-0. Class A championship game, first quarter. Here at Prep Bowl 28 at the Metrodome. The Vikings have it, 1st and 10 at their own 47. And that is Noyes. And Noyes inside the 25, down to the 24. Finally brought down by Kyle Kilgore.
What we're going to see early is a couple of missed tackles here by Adrian is allowing the seam of this run to open up. Now, right now, Minneota's able to do everything in their offense against Adrian. Adrian's got to figure out a way to shut him down.
Noyes with a chunk of yards there, 28 on the run. And on 1st down, they give the ball to Anderson, and Anderson gets a yard at best. Adrian there with good penetration from the down lineman. Adrian Dragons gave up 43 to Minneota in that season opener, but since then, the Dragon defense has only given up an average of 6.8 points per game, so they've really tightened things up on defense. A little misdirection there. And on the carry for Minneota was Jacob Sheedle.
I think, you know, coming out of the blocks and talking to both these coaches, a couple of different thoughts early in the year. I know that the Minneota with Chad Johnson, they fully expected to be as successful as they were this season. This is an older group. A lot of seniors here, a lot of successful players. They expected to be in this game. On the other side of it, Adrian was more like they weren't ready for the opening game of the year. But now they feel it's a little bit of payback opportunity for them. So a little different contrast and thoughts there.
A good play there by Steven Lusbrook for the Adrian Dragons, able to drag down Sam Dersink, the quarterback, and that'll bring up 4th down now. Long yardage, 4th down and 10 for Minneota. The Vikings say we're not going to punt it. Let's go for it. Derrick in the gun. Derrick to the air. Got a man open. Caught. Touchdown. Will Kirka from 25 yards out on a 4th down play.
You know, very similar route that we saw earlier. Nice catch by Kirka. Now, here's what makes this happen is Kirka is a huge target. 6'4", 220 pounds. He's got the reach in the hands to get out and make catches like this. Now, nice big target, nice post route up the middle. Touchdown by Kirka. That's not the last time we're going to see him today.
31 touchdown passes for Derrick as the extra point is added on by Vitor Santos. Let's look at it one more time. Derrick to Kirka, the hookup on channel 45. Lots to cheer about if you're a Minneota Viking fan. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Scoring run by Brandon Anderson and a touchdown pass from Derrick to Kirka. And a kickoff taken by Dickman, and he spun down around the 32. On the tackle, Blake Abraham for Minneota. All right, if you are wondering where Adrian is located, way down there, southwestern Minnesota. It is right between Worthington and Sioux Falls off of I-90. Farming community, Corbin.
Yeah, not a lot of mountains out there.
Yeah, that's the way you go when you're heading to the Rocky Mountains or the Black Hills. The Dragons trying to drum up some offense. Maybe a yard there for Hagen. Minneota, 163 miles from Minneapolis. The Yellow Medicine River flows through Minneota, which isn't too far from Adrian. Second and 9 for the Dragons. Bullerman is the motion man. Nowotny going to roll right. The stiff arm, but it doesn't work. He's dragged down by Kirka. A flag flies. Boy, Kirka just ran Nowotny down. Maybe that's why. Face mask. That'll go against Minneota. Let's see what happened here, Corbin.
You know, just trying to make a play there. But what Nowotny's trying to do is just get outside the pocket so he can make the pass. Unfortunately, Kirka came to play on defense today, too.
So the ball now moved up to the 39 of Adrian. It'll be 2nd and 3. Vikings up 14-0. Thanksgiving weekend here at the Metrodome. Prep Bowl 28 is underway. Stephen Argyle Central won the Class 9-man title earlier today against Nicollet. And that's Brock Bullerman running off left tackle. Bullerman gets it out to the 45, pickup of 6. That'll be a first down for the Dragons. Stephen Argyle Central, a 37-22 winner over Nicollet. That is championship number 7 for the Storm. More than any other high school football team in Minnesota history.
Yeah, we saw that one this morning with 600-plus yards of offense and 400-plus yards of rushing. It was an amazing game this morning for Stephen Argyle.
Adrian with some substitution, new package maybe on offense. We'll see.
Well, they like to come out with that 9 lineman package where they unbalance one way or the other. That's what we're seeing right now to the right, that unbalanced line to the right.
Bullerman on the run right. He stacked up. He lost yardage. Leading the charge was Brett Prismus.
You know, that's fine and dandy when you want to go unbalanced on one side, but If you don't have guys knocking players off the ball, it doesn't make any difference. It just shortens up the sideline for your running back. And so, you know, Brett Prisma's nice play on that, able to penetrate. The key to that is those linemen on that side, they've got to come across the line and get those defenders off the ball.
A loss of 3. Nowotny gonna roll to his left. Gonna heave it up. And it's caught. Caught there by Kyle Kilgore. And why not throw a jump ball to Kilgore? He's 6'7", 200 pounds. I mean, he's a basketball player in football cleats.
Throwing it up to the guy, the biggest guy on the field, you know, expect him to come down with the ball, and he'll make some plays. Now, quietly, he's not a huge part of the offense, but they'll put him in there for some jump ball opportunities.
34-yard jump ball reception for Kyle Kilgore, who had the touchdown pass in the second quarter last week against Boston. That proved to be the game winner. Brandon Agin runs it down to the 17, gain of 7. So Adrian moving the football as we approach the 2:50 mark of quarter number 1. Second down and 3. There's that beef package. And the give is to Dickman. And he gets maybe a yard.
You know, Minneota's able to penetrate that, and that time, you know, Jordan Longton, number 75, was able to disrupt that play and force it to go a direction the play didn't want to go. And so that's one way Minneota can disrupt this unbalanced line. They can maybe penetrate those gaps and force Adrian to do things they don't want to do.
Full house one more time. And look at the leg churning there. That's Bullerman, who refused to go down. I mean, that was a scrum. He was in the middle of about 5 Minneota Vikings, and he kind of moved the mountain with him.
He did, you know, for a 160-pound kid, you like to see that great leg drive. He didn't want to give up, fought for those extra yards.
Well, that's going to be a first down. Yeah, and move the mountain there, Brock Bullerman.
Yep, and it's just basically him against 11. Now, we'd like to see some of the other guys, you know, he's going to go back to the huddle and say, where the heck were the rest of you? You know, come and help me out a little bit here.
That's a poster play for gang tackling. Nowotny, quarterback keeper. And he's able to power his way down inside the 5. So the Dragons are moving the football.
Yeah, they're getting a real nice opening here. They've had a couple of plays here, getting a good double team on the 1 and 2 techniques there inside and able to get that crease. We've seen a couple plays now to the right side where they've been able to get 7 or 8 yards.
That was a gain of 9. Fox on the tackle. 1:10 to go in the first quarter. Adrian in the red zone. And Adrian's in. Touchdown. That's the big man, Brendan Koplo. He's part of that beef package. 6'1", 210. And he got that inside handoff, and he barreled in.
Yeah, normally a left tackle, but he'll go into the backfield. And what's nice is to see is a big guy can hang on to the ball, because he did take a shot there. Sometimes you got to worry about these guys who aren't used to carrying the ball, fumbling, but nice job there by Brandon Koplo.
And Dickman punches the extra point through the uprights, and so the Minneota lead is sliced in half. 14-7. Vikings on top here late in the first. 10 plays, 68 yards. They ate up 4:35 of clock time. You know, one thing about this matchup, I mean, there are no secrets, Corbin. As we talked about, when they met in the opener, it was won by Minneota back on September 3rd, 43-13. They're playing for a championship today, and then they're going to meet next season to open up the 2010 campaign. Little Sioux Conference opponents.
Yeah, so they're going to know a lot about each other, and we knew that, you know, Adrian, when you talk to their staff and talk to their players, they knew they suffered a big loss early in the year, but you know what? They're not scared. They're here playing tonight because it's the championship game, so all that doesn't mean anything at all right now.
And the Vikings will get the short kick, and we'll begin at the 34 of Minneota on that kick catch, Will Kirka. So Adrian has been unable to slow down Minneota's offense so far. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. And here is possession number 3. Daring going to give it to Brandon Anderson. And he rumbles up for 8 or 9. Very close to a first down. Boy, Brandon Anderson entering the game, 1,775 yards rushing, 32 touchdown runs. I mean, those are incredible numbers for a running back.
You know, they've got a lot more weapons than just him.
2nd and 1. Anderson, no gain. That time the Dragons were able to come off their block and bring him down. Justin Wolf on the tackle. Final seconds of the first quarter. We've already seen 3 touchdowns. Minneota on top. Daring going to do it himself. I don't think he got it, Corbin.
Not going to happen. Adrian really responded there. Almost looked like it might have been a little bit of hesitation there on the part of Minneota, but nice job by Adrian sniffing that out and focusing on the quarterback.
Well, they gave him maybe a friendly spot because they do rule first down. So he needed a yard. He maybe got 1.5 yards, but that's good enough for the first down. Here at the Prep Bowl. Tell you what, it's quite a day of football. A lot of sights and sounds here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. We're watching it all on Channel 45. Well, I guess the wave is still in vogue, sort of. Some of the Minneota fans orchestrating the wave. Sheedle turning the corner. That's a good first down run for Minneota. Second quarter underway. Vikings have the 14-7 lead. Call it a gain of 7. 2nd and 3. And again, Sheedle. Big opening. Going right up Broadway. All the way down to the 25-yard line of Adrian. A 26-yard gain for Sheedle.
Yeah, and Sheedle comes in with some fresh legs now. Little reverse misdirection inside counter play there. He's got some nice speed through the hole, which I really like to see. He had a nice sweep pass on the play earlier.
And on the run left, they give it to Noyes. And Adrian able to solve that run play. In fact, Noyes lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Kyle Kilgore came up and able to drop him. There's Kilgore. Tell you what, Kilgore, we talked about him as a receiver, 6 feet 7 inches tall, but it's about as big as you're going to see at the cornerback position where he plays on D. Daring's got a man. Touchdown, Minneota. Jesus Macias a catch.
Boy, what an arm on Derek. That's a rifle. That's about 35 yards. You can see here, he's going to roll outside the pocket here, set his feet and rifle the ball to the open receiver in the back of the end zone. That's some great arm strength there by Derek.
Santos makes it 21-7 for Derek. 2 touchdown passes today, 32 on the year. And Macias able to hang on to that dart from Derek. And the Vikings are up by 2 touchdowns. This is the Prep Bowl on Channel 45. All right, everybody having a good time today. You're at the Prep Bowl. The Fan Cam is brought to you by Best Buy and Lionsgate Entertainment. Wolverine and the X-Men in stores now. Pick up your copy today. That's probably where a lot of these kids are going to go after the game.
Well, I'm sure take advantage of some of those holiday sales that just started.
Yeah, they just had a markdown probably at Best Buy. Dickman for Adrian on the kickoff return, and he is able to slither his way out to the 31. Well, you talk about a space-age offense. Minneota certainly has one of those, averaging over 50 points a game. And the Vikings already have 21 on the board, and we have 10:33 to go before the half. They just ring up those points.
They do, and they're able to do it in a bunch of different ways. You know, they're spreading the ball around, a bunch of different guys touching the ball.
Brock Bullerman runs it out near the 40, close to the first down. And there is the road to the Metrodome in the Class A championship. Adrian winning over Boston last week. Minneota knocking off Blooming Prairie, my favorite nickname in all of high school sports, Corbin, the Blooming Prairie Awesome Blossoms.
And that's for a football team?
Yes, but they were not in bloom last week.
Okay.
Minneota made sure of that.
Well, you better be some tough kids, because if I'm thinking Awesome Blossoms, it's the dance squad from Blooming Prairie, but...
Yeah, or that's maybe something you'd order at a restaurant.
Sure.
Well, there's a first down run for the Dragons. That's kind of more like a football name, isn't it? Dragons?
Dragons are good. The Raiders is good. The Vikings.
Adrian with that beef package one more time. Bullerman gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all. On the stop was Sheedle. It'll be 2nd and 10. Adrian and Minneota, the sequel. They met in the season opener in early September. Minneota won 43-13. Nowotny running a little bit of a wishbone look there. He kept it. I think if you're going to run that play, Corbin, you have to show that fake maybe a little bit more, because they didn't buy on it, because he didn't really pull the fake off.
Right, and the key to that is holding that fake a little bit longer to suck those defenders in there. Unfortunately, there was nothing to sell there.
3rd down and 8. Ball at the 47 of Adrian. Nowotny. Down he goes. Bag him up. Another sack for Minneota.
I believe that was Jordan Longton.
Yep, Longland. Here's another look.
Man, he just overpowers the offensive lineman. It's just a matter of size, mass, inertia, just pushing the pocket back in. Jordan Longton able to make the sack there.
Oh, that's how you cave in a pocket.
It is.
And punting it away will be Dickman.
Oh, it hit him.
It hit him, and it's a loose ball. Who got it?
This would be big if Adrian comes up with the ball.
Well, it bounced off of Noyes. And the Dragons have it. Well, that could be the break that Adrian needs. On the recovery, Dustin Polzin. So let's see if they can cash in, starting at the Viking 36, 1st and 10. They fake the reverse. Bullerman bulling his way down to about the 27. That's a good pickup of 9.
You know, fake double reverse here. What I like now is Adrian seems to have kept their poise pretty well. You know, they're down by 2 scores here. But, you know, even at the beginning of the game, we knew that, you know, although they didn't expect to be as successful as they were this year, they are in this game now, and they deserve to be in this game.
He had a good lead block there by Justin Wolf. Bullerman straight up the gut. Got the first down all the way to the 19. That's an 8-yard gain.
That's a big man. Took one to the ribs there a little bit, getting up a little gingerly.
First and 10 at the 18 of Minneota. Adrian on the move. Remember the fumble recovery by Polzin. They began this drive at the 36 of Minneota. Midway through quarter number 2. Prep Bowl 28. Class 1A championship game. Adrian and Minneota. And that is Agin. And Agin gets a good chunk of yardage. Looks like he got about 8.
Yeah, and we know that Adrian came to play, and they can run the ball, and that's exactly what they're doing. Right now, they're dishing it off to a couple of different guys, but the guys up front for Adrian are definitely answering back.
Randy Strand and the Dragons hoping to cut the gap to 21-14. And there's Koplo. The ice cream truck or something like that. Normally plays on that offensive line, but they'll move him back into that full house look. This has been a great day for you, Corbin. We've seen in the first game, linemen catch extra points. We've seen in this game, linemen get to run the ball.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like. But these guys are, they're having fun with it today. You know, they've been doing it all year, though, too. And it's fun to see.
Corbin Lacina, of course, former NFL offensive lineman. And Koplo is tripped up inside the 5 down to about the 4. Credit Bo Bicey with the tackle. Adrian with it. On 2nd and goal from the 4.
See if they try and get it to Bullerman here to something to the outside, maybe.
And they have their jumbo package in one more time. Bullerman. Stacked up. Maybe a yard.
Well, they've been trying to switch it off. They've been trying to go up the middle with the big man, 73 Koplo, and then to the outside with Bullerman that time. Unfortunately, just not getting the surge that they need from the offensive line.
Well, Brett Prismus does a great job at one of those linebacker spots for Minneota. Chad Johnston and the Vikings are going to take a timeout. We'll take a break, too. This is the Prep Bowl on Channel 45. All right, back here on Channel 45, your home for exclusive Prep Bowl coverage. Adrian facing a 3rd and goal from the Viking 3. Dragons today, Corbin, 1 of 4 on third down conversions.
Well, you know, this might be a time to try and get the ball in the hands of Kyle Kilgore at 6'7". Maybe try and find him in the back of the end zone for a leap ball opportunity.
Dickman, the motion man. Koplow on the roll. Koplow. He's in. 3-yard touchdown run for Nowotny. That's Nowotny, the quarterback, who got in for the touchdown. And the lead is cut to 21-13.
And he's trying to get to Kilgore in the back of the end zone. You'll see number 10, Kilgore, is in the back of the end zone. Nowotny decides to take it to himself and get the touchdown.
And the extra point is good by Dickman. 7 plays, 36 yards. It took 2:54. And Nowotny on the touchdown run. And Minneota's lead cut to 7. 21-14 Vikings here at the Prep Bowl on Chet. Minneota leading Adrian, and some of the Dragon fans with their best face paint for this Prep Bowl. Excited their football team right back in the game. Here's another squib kickoff taken by Noyes. And Noyes is down around the 38-yard line of Minneota. Well, it's been an offensive fireworks display so far, Corbin. Let's watch Nowotny. Now, you thought maybe they were looking for the fade.
I think that Kilgore was trying to get to the back. There you see him, number 10, Kyle Kilgore at 6'7". It makes sense. He was a little shallow in the end zone there, I noticed, from the top view of that. I think if Kilgore would have been a little bit deeper in that end zone, would have been easier for Nowotny to dump the ball to him, because I think that's what they were trying to do.
Anderson on the first down carry gets 4. There's a Viking down out around the 44-yard line, slow to get up. He is Jacob Horner, one of the offensive linemen, and they're going to help him to the sideline. So Adrian has a touchdown run from Koplow, also a quarterback keeper for a touchdown from Brett Nowotny. Minneota, touchdown run from Brandon Anderson from 19 yards out. Derrick with a pair of touchdown passes, one to Kirka, one to Macias. Derrick in the gun, picks up the low snap, rifles it out right side. It's caught, and getting the first down for Minneota. On the catch, that's Jesus Macias. So pretty good job there by Derrick to scoop the ball off the turf, and then Macias, little juke there. Corbin got that extra yardage.
Yeah, the DBs are playing a little soft out there, giving Macias that room he needs to make that completion.
They are at midfield, 1st and 10 at the 50. Right there at that Viking logo here at the Metrodome. And stacked up on first down is Brandon Anderson. He maybe got one. Brendan Koplow on the stop along with Justin Wolf.
Yeah, and Koplow just slammed the door there. He just fought off the offender and made a great tackle.
One would think the Minneota Vikings feel very much at home here at the Metrodome, the home of the Minnesota Vikings. Derrick in trouble. Bag him up.
Loneman.
Andrew Loneman, sack number 17 on the year. That's a Dragon school record. He did a Jared Allen imitation there, Corbin.
You know, and that's interesting that you would say Jared Allen, because when you have young players watch a player like Jared Allen, Loneman is kind of out of that mold. There's a high motor guy, okay? These high motor guys are not going to stop until they've got the quarterback on the ground, and that's what Andrew's done all year long. He plays very intense. He comes off the ball real quick, and you know, he's got a couple of moves on him too. I've been watching him pretty closely. He's got a nice rip under move. He's able to feel the leverage of that offensive tackle and expose him, and that time Laudeman with a big sack.
I know that when you played in that era when Johnny Randall played for the Vikings. Maybe the first ever high motor guy. That's when that phrase became kind of vogue. And those guys, when you're a lineman like you were, offensive lineman, when you know they're not going to stop, you're always on your toes, aren't you?
You are on your toes, and you know it's going to be a long day, and it's just one of those days you've got to prepare yourself to outplay that person, because when you're dealing with somebody like that, you have no choice, because they will embarrass you. You know, they'll do things to you all day long. It'll be 3-4 sacks later.
All right, we're taking a look at some of the previous Class A champions now. Caledonia got it done a year ago. Goodhue back in 07. Rushford Peterson, pretty good run. 3rd and 13, Derrick in the gun. Out of play action. He's got his man. Tony Noyes, first down and more. Down to the 36 of Adrian.
You know, how Minneota's able to be so successful. They're getting a lot of room at the line of scrimmage here, these receivers are. I really think Adrian needs to tighten up a little bit. You know, it's not like we're dealing with some overwhelming speed, but these Adrian D-backs need to tighten up, maybe bump these receivers a little bit more at the line.
19 on that last connection. Noyes again, able to spin his way down to about the 28, maybe the 29. That's a good gain on first down. You'll take a 7-yard pickup on first down anytime, because now you're in that run-pass option mode.
Yeah, you do anything you want. You know, it makes it all that harder for the defense to try and figure out what you're going to do.
The Vikings up by a touchdown late in the second quarter. And there's the bulldozer, Brandon Anderson, who gets it down to the 26. Very close to the first down.
You know, Minneota, with that unbalanced look to the right themselves, will do a little decoy handoff to Brandon Anderson on that backside A-gap, and able to get a couple of runs off that. So it's more of a decoy play, that one.
Anderson did get the first down. Well, the Vikings trying to put some more points on the board, leading 21-14. Anderson 9 carries, 46 yards on the day. And this time they mix it up and they give it to Sheedle. And Sheedle runs it inside the 20. That'll be a 7-yard gain. So Minneota with a potent ground game. Running the ball very well on this drive.
Yeah, minute 14 left. Adrian's got to find a way to keep this Minneota team out of the end zone at this point. It really would keep them in the game.
Derrick to throw. Nice fingertip grab there. And then dancing his way in for the touchdown is Tony Noyes. Wow. He made the glue-fingered catch, and then he walked the tightrope down the sideline. You won't see a prettier touchdown.
You know, all the same time, the key point there is he stayed in bounds. He had to avoid a couple of arm tackles along the sideline. Great athletic ability. You're going to see him here. Little fake misdirection dump out to Noyes. Down the sideline, there's one arm tackle. There's two. He's still in bounds down the sidelines for the touchdown. What an athlete.
Tyler Sieve missed that first tackle. Santos kicks the extra point through the uprights. A 20-yard connection from Derrick to Noyes, and this one is worth another look.
You know, what we see here now is this is something that Minneota now has just, you know, to go up 2 scores now with 50 seconds left in the half, This was something Adrian could not let happen to him. Really puts him in a bind at this point. They played tough up until now, but now we're down 2 scores again. Until Adrian figures out a way to stop these guys, it's going to be a long afternoon.
And for those who have never tried to catch a pass with your fingertips and keep your balance and then stay in bounds and break 2 tackles, that is a difficult thing to do. And Noyes there comes up with, I will say this, and it's early here in our Prep Bowl coverage, that'll be one of the highlights we see throughout the day and the night.
Absolutely, that'll be a highlight down the road for other Prep Bowls. Next year there'll be a highlight because he was on the line. He was within inches of that line, down the sideline, staying in bounds and getting the touchdown.
Well, our director, Cowboy Dennis Silva, who loves the Dallas Cowboys, just told me that he wishes Roy Williams could make plays like that. All right, here's the kickoff. And Dickman will run it out across the 35 to about the 40, where the Dragons will begin, down by 2 touchdowns. And this Minneota offense, it's a firecracker offense. They can explode at any time. And we just saw that there and kind of took away some of the momentum Adrian came up with on the previous score for the Dragons.
Well, Adrian has pretty much answered throughout this game. That series before, we had the big sack by Loneman, got him into a 3rd and long. And so each series, Adrian has come back to answer. The problem is now they're down by 2 again. It's like, how are you going to catch up in time?
1st and 10 from the 40. Nowotny stood up and then brought down on the tackle, Brett Prismus. By the way, the numbers, they can't get much better for Derink. Favre-like in terms of accuracy, 7 of 7, 125 yards and 3 touchdowns. The last drive, 9 plays, 61 yards, 3 minutes, 53 seconds. So pinpoint passing by Derink, and he had some help by Noyes, who made an outstanding grab, and then the run.
The other thing, too, is they've got to take a look at their coverage, because I think they're playing too soft. They're giving the receivers of Minneota too much room to work. Okay, they're able to get this room, work these slants and these posts, and catch the ball real easy off these defenders.
Well, we've played 2 quarters here at this Class A championship game at the Metrodome. And Minneota leads at 28-14. The Vikings jogging in to the locker room, and the Dragon mascot's going to have to figure out a way to fire up the Adrian team, which is trailing by 14. Leah B. Olson is downstairs. Hi, Leah.
Hi, guys. Well, a lot of offense in that first half of football. What did you like? What didn't you like?
Offensively, we're doing a lot of things well. They're doing some things to try to take away our inside game, which allows us to get the outside. Our passing game is clicking right now. We got to make some stops defensively. We don't want to get a shootout with this team.
All right, good luck to you in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll take it back to you.
All right, Leah, thank you so much. Now we go to TRIA Orthopedic Center to learn about some differences between male and female athletes. This is the Prep Bowl on Channel 45.
Halftime of the 1A state championship game. Minneota, has the lead over Adrian, 28-14. Stay with us. You're watching the Prep Bowl on 45. Welcome back to the Metrodome in Prep Bowl 28. We're at halftime of the 1A state championship game. Minneota is leading Adrian 28-14. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights, Justin.
Well, yeah, give Adrian credit. Here's a team, obviously, that lost the opening game 42-13. But here they've battled back, a nice little running game. They've actually been able to match almost series for series with Minneota. But then again, Minneota, too, a tough team here. A great run early in the game for a touchdown here with Brandon Anderson. And then Sam Dirk, the quarterback, with a Brett Favre-like performance. 7 for 7 for 125 yards. And more importantly, 3 touchdowns, including this down the sideline. That really took the momentum away from Adrian as they had closed that gap to 21-14 before that score. There they go up 28-14.
Yeah, this game is a lot closer than we thought it was going to be. First half stats are brought to you by Warner Stellian. No one works harder to save you more than your appliance specialist at Warner Stellian. The score 28-14, as we told you. Passing yardage dominated by Minneota. Also the rushing yardage. Total yardage Also dominant by Minneota, but that one turnover, that one led to an Adrian touchdown, and that's what got it so close in this game.
Whereas that Minneota short passing game, that precision passing game, anytime you're 100%, you're having a pretty good day. It's that short passing game. Adrian really needs to adjust their defense in the second half, put a little bit more pressure on those wide receivers, force them out of their routes, and hopefully be opportunistic and make some turnovers.
You said in the pregame show it's difficult to beat a team twice in one season. Let's see if Minneota can do it. The second half is coming up, folks. Stay with us. You're watching the Prep Bowl, number 28, only on 45. Welcome back to the Metrodome. We're at halftime of the 1A state championship game. Minneota with the lead over Adrian, 28-14. We are just about ready to kick off the second half of our 1A state championship game. For the call, let's go up to the booth. Eric Nelson and Corbin Lucina.
All right, thank you, Phil. 28-14, the Minneota Vikings on top of the Adrian Dragons. The rematch, they met week 1. Adrian losing 43-13, and you look at the numbers, Corbin, total yards jump out at me. 240 for Minneota, 106 for Adrian. So they've doubled them up there, and they've doubled them up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and we knew that was something to be concerned about coming into this game. The offensive power of Minneota, they've got a number of weapons they're able to strike with. You know, Adrian has answered for the most part. You know, back-to-back series. Laudeman's made a couple of nice plays, forced Minneota to play some third and longs. But unfortunately, Adrian's got to figure out a couple of things. First of all, I think, is they've got to play the Minneota receivers a little more physical. They're giving them too much off the ball, and that's allowing you know, Derek to just pick them apart, because the receivers for Minneota are big kids too. 6'4", you know, Tony Noyes, Will Kirk is 6'4". Big kids, big receivers. They got to get on them early.
All right, let's go downstairs to Leah B. Olson. Leah.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Coach, your team was able to put up 14 points in the first half. What do you need to do defensively to slow down this Minneota team?
Well, we need to slow them down. You're absolutely right. We've had some big plays, but then we let them off the hook by giving too much space with our D-backs and stuff. So we got to come up with something defensively. We got to have kids step it up and make the play, and maybe get a turnover here or there. And then we're right there. We're playing our hearts out, but we got to stop them on defense and just keep plugging away on offense.
Did you say anything specific to them in the locker room?
Oh no, we just pretty much touched on the X and the O's and talked about, hey, for some of them there's no more football after their day, so there's no reason to bring anything back with them. They just will pour it on the field today. So hopefully we can get that done.
All right, good luck and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Eric, we'll take it back to you.
All right, Leah, great job. Again, 28-14, Vikings over the Dragons, as we are getting close to the start of quarter number 3. Big first half for Sam Derink, Minneota quarterback, 125 yards in the air, 3 touchdown passes, and he spaced it out. 1 touchdown reception for Will Kirka, 1 for Tony Noyes, and another for Jesus Macias. So, if you're a receiver and your quarterback's going to find whoever is open, that makes you run harder on your routes, because the ball can come your way at any time.
Well, absolutely. And the other thing is you've got a lot of space to run. Adrian has just given these guys too much space to run. They've got to tighten up their DBs. You heard Coach Randy Strand talk about that here when he came out. That's going to be a big part of it, in order to force Minneota to get a little bit more one-dimensional, because right now Minneota can do anything they want. They can run inside or outside. They can throw the ball deep. They can throw the slants. It doesn't matter. They can do what they want. So Adrian's got to find a way to force Minneota to have less options on their offense.
And Minneota has been a juggernaut. The Vikings 13-0, winning their games by an average of 40 points this season. I mean, they scored 77 against Lakeview Cottonwood back in the first round of the playoffs. So they are explosive. Here's the kickoff to start the third quarter. That's Dickman. And Dickman with a good return out to the 41. Dragged down by Corey Dreetz. And that is where the Dragons will set up shop as we start the second half. Minneota has never trailed. If you're just tuning in, the Vikings wear the Royal blue jerseys, gold pants, gold numbers, gold helmets. Adrian, white jerseys, royal blue pants, white helmets. First down carry, that's Brock. No, that's Koplo. Koplo getting it out near midfield, dragged down at the Viking logo. Picked up 7.
You know, that's just the way you want to start a half. You know, and Adrian has answered now. They're not out of this game. They've answered just about every time to this Minneota, you know, team that's just so powerful. But Adrian's not going anywhere.
And there's that full house look again. Koplo, the first guy to get it, the up back, and this time they stop him. But he's very close to the first down. You know, the ball is right there in the center of the field. And they call it 3rd and 1. They run this full house package. It looks a little bit like a wishbone, the beef package, whatever you want to call it. It's worked this season for Adrian, and that's Koplo again. And he barrels his way for the first down and a couple of yards on the tackle for Minneota, Jordan Longton.
Yeah, you know, the other thing Adrian will do is that they'll run that huge unbalanced side also with Koplo and try and maybe get the ball out, you know, to some of the other players, you know, Bullerman in particular, who's had over 1,300 yards this year. They'll get him out on these sweeps. He's a little bit quicker on the outside.
And Adrian is a grinded out team. They like to just continue to work and hope that good things happen. And right there, a good thing does happen as Koplo able to get another good chunk of yardage down to the 38 of Minneota. Call it a gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Well, you know, that I like this attitude of this Adrian team right now because they're not in panic mode. They're just coming out. We're going to our big guys that have got us here in this game. We're going to get the ball to Koplo, and we're going to run down the field until you stop us.
And Derrick got run over as he made that tackle. And the carry there for Adrian by Nowotny, the quarterback. And he got the first down. Koplo on the day, 10 carries, 44 yards. So you'll take that, 4.4 yards per carry.
Yeah, another first down for Adrian.
Randy Strand hoping his team can rally here. This time the give is to Brandon Agin, the senior running back, and Agin picked up 5. So it'll be 2nd down and 5 for Nowotny and the Adrian Dragons. Chad Johnston, 8 years as the head coach at Minneota, record of 53 and 26. And boy, he'd love to get to 54 today because that would mean a trophy for the Vikings. Koplo just got tripped up there, able to stick one of his paws up for Minneota. That was Michael Hammer. If he doesn't trip him up there, Corbin, he might be going for about 20 more.
Yeah, and I think what Adrian figured out, they figured out at halftime is that this Minneota defensive team is playing a little wide up front. They've got their D tackles playing real wide, and the ends are even further out, so there's virtually nobody in between the tackles to defend this. Now, I noticed they're starting to blitz the linebackers up, bring them up a little bit more, but Adrian is able to get that 5 or 7 yards each time up the middle.
And another run to the left by the Dragons. On the carry again, Agin. He picked up a couple. That was a first down carry, so it's 2nd down and 8. Clock moving. 8:04, 8:03 to go. 3rd quarter. Minneota leading Adrian 28-14. Class A championship at stake. We're at the Metrodome, Prep Bowl 28. And again, it's Koplo. We haven't seen much of Bullerman on this drive. It's been mostly Agin and Koplo.
You know, the other player I'm looking for is Kyle Kilgore. You know, a 6'7" receiver. We haven't seen anything of him this half yet. But like you said, you know, Koplo and you know, Nowotny, these guys are working well together right now. And I like the attitude here of we're not in panic mode. We're just going to run the ball. You stop us, then we'll do something else. But they're not in panic mode.
10th play of the drive coming up here. Nowotny on the roll right.
He's got Kilgore.
Got a man open. Caught.
I think that was
Dickman. Touchdown. Adam Dickman.
Nice call. I like it. You know, going to Mr. Everything Dickman, who's kicking, he's returning. He's a receiver, a D-back. And what they're able to do here is we've had 10 plays of just pounding the ball. We got the DBs to play a little soft, and Dickman's able to sneak in behind him.
And Dickman, for good measure, kicks the extra point. So Dickman catches the touchdown. 20-yard score, and then he adds on one more. Here it is one more time. Nowotny to Dickman. And the Dragons are right back in it on Channel 45. Back at the Metrodome, site of Prep Bowl 28. Two-day extravaganza began this morning, and there's Randy Strand, and the Dragons are breathing fire now, Corbin. Strand knows his football team is back in it, down by 7. Here's the kickoff to the Vikings. It's another one of those bouncing kicks fielded by Josephson. And we'll go to break one more time. 7-point Viking lead on Channel. It's been a love affair all season for the Dragons and their fans, and they're here at the Metrodome. They have come here in full force, and Adrian now down by just 7, and they come up with a defensive stop there. Tony Noyes is brought down. By the way, that last touchdown drive for Adrian, Nowotny to Dickman, 20-yard TD hook up through the air. 10 plays, 59 yards, 4:53. They chewed up clock time for Nowotny. Now 13 touchdown passes on the year. Dickman 3 touchdown catches, but it was a drive that got him back in it, Corbin.
Yeah, they definitely saw something at halftime they wanted to expose, and they came out and executed here right away.
And Derrick gets it to Cheadle, and Cheadle does the helicopter. He flipped over as he was hit by Dickman. Who else?
Shot. What a shot by Dickman when he's looking like Joey Browner out there. Watch him come up here and fill this. That's what you want a safety to do right there.
Talk about going airborne, but give Cheadle credit. Hung on to the ball, and he got a good game there. Out to the 46. That'll rattle your cage. And they give it on the sweep left to Noyes. Noyes able to get positive yards down to the 48 of Adrian. Kilgore on the tackle. Maybe the tallest cornerback you're ever going to see at 6 feet 7 inches. So Randy Strand, now what he needs, Corbin, he needs his defense to step up. His offense delivered on the last drive. Can they slow down this on a roll every drive Minneota Viking offense?
Yeah, I think we saw a little bit of that out of Dickman there on that last tackle.
Noyes again. Noyes with a bit of a cutback, and that's enough to get the first down. He's to the 40. 9-yard pickup for Noyes. Loneman brought him down.
You know, whenever we're following, you know, 2 blockers like that, what Noyes did a nice job there is he knew the time to cut back. He found that crease right there early before the tackle and was able to get some yardage.
Noyes, a senior for the Minneota Vikings. In the gun is Derrick. And Derrick heaving one to the heavens, but nobody near it. He wanted Noyes. Good coverage there by Tyler Sieve, the safety. Minneota, I told you they're a firecracker team that can explode. 8 plays of 17 yards or better in this game. And Derink, talk about a great first half. He was 7 of 7 for 125 yards and 3 touchdowns. And there is the road to the Metrodome for the Vikings. But the quarterback rating for Derink in the first half, 158.3. Noyes again. 9, maybe 10 yards on that carry. Brought down by Loneman.
158.3, and you're telling me it's a high school quarterback. We're not talking, you know, a 5A, you know, Creighton Durham Hall, Chris Winkie, or Joe Mauer quarterback. We're talking about a 1A squad here that's running this, you know, to a T. They're throwing the ball very well. They're running the ball very well. It's a complete package offense. It's really been fun to watch.
Yeah, he's 8 of 9 so far on the day. Now Derink going to use his feet to try to get the first down, and he should have a good surge by his offensive line. He only needed a yard, and they do get it, and they can move the chains.
Yeah, Adrian's got to find a way here. I mean, they came out so strong offensively. They've just got to find a way right here to keep Minneota out of the end zone. If they can do that, that'll keep their confidence going, because offensively, I think they figured it out a little bit.
Minneota with the 7-point lead and the ball. 1st and 10 at the 29 of the Dragons. A little misdirection there, but Adrian able to read that one. And the tackle made by Polzin. Call it a gain of 2. 2nd and 8. And there is Dustin Polzin wearing the double nickels on that Dragons jersey. Derink to the air. Incomplete. Kirka got a hand on it, but he couldn't bring it in. Would have been a tough catch. It'll be 3rd down.
You know, but Derek, you know, even with the double coverage, I like the way where Derek put this ball. He put it to where the big receiver can catch it and out of the hands of the small DBs. So, boy, that Derek is something special.
Well, that's a great point, because only 2 things are going to happen there. Either Derek's going to make the circus catch or it's incomplete.
Right.
That was not an interceptable ball.
Put it to where your receiver can get it.
3rd and 8. Anderson still going inside the 10, down to the 8, a flag. Brought down by Seed, and that'll be a face mask, and it shows you how good Minneota is. We almost forgot about Brandon
I was just about to say, Anderson who? I mean, to come back, and this is the guy that was your leading rusher for the season, and this is the first time we're talking about him with 3 minutes to go in the second half.
Well, he gained 17 on the run.
Holding on the offense. Face mask on the defense. Offsetting penalties. Replay the down.
You know,
Still 3rd down.
So 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. The first time we're talking about Brandon Anderson is right now on a 17-yard run. Well, that just shows you, the weapons and options that Minneota has.
Well, offsetting penalties, so that'll wipe the Anderson gain off the map. And we'll do it again. 3rd and 8 from the 27 of the Dragons. Late 3rd quarter. Prep Bowl 28. Class 1A title at stake. Derink playing pinball, bouncing off people. Look at Derink go. Oh, he was able to bounce out of a pile in the middle and get it down to the 9. 18 yards and a first down.
And Adrian started to blitz a couple of guys there. They had it sniffed out, but what they couldn't do is the arm tackling Derek was not going to work couple of arm tackles there. He's able to bounce out and get the extra yards. Adrian had that sniffed out. They just couldn't execute. They didn't execute the play. They didn't make the tackle.
I think he bounced off Brandon Anderson, his teammate. Noyes refusing to go down. Finally tackled around the 1. Touchdown saving tackle there by Jason Reisdorfer of Adrian. Also, Luzbrock in on the stop. And it'll be 2nd and goal from the 1. That was a gain of 8. Noyes, 9 carries, 65 yards. So he's been another weapon in the arsenal of the Vikings today. Anderson, touchdown, Minneota. His 34th touchdown of the season. Well, when you've got a weapon like that, a bulldozer running back, and you're inside the 5, you know he's going to get that call.
You know, it's just all about line surge and who wants it more. And one of the guys that we haven't talked a lot about is number 55, Mike Hammer, and that was right up his alley there at the guard position. And an interesting story about Mike is he's out there with a torn MCL, and he's playing with it, avoiding surgery. So we'll talk about him later on.
Vikings lead is back up to 14 after the Anderson touchdown on Channel 45. Back on Channel 45, your home for Prep Bowl 28. Minneota leading Adrian 35-21. The Vikings of Minneota trying to win their first state title since they pulled off the three-peat, winning back-to-back-to-back championships in 86, 87, and 88. As the kickoff taken by Dickman of the Dragons, and he's down at the 29. It's been a good week in Minneota. The volleyball team, 2nd in the state tournament last weekend. As you see the touchdown maker, Brandon Anderson, he's got 34 on the year. Have you ever played with a guy who scored 34 touchdowns in one season?
No, that's an amazing number, and that's what Minneota has, is they've got all these weapons on this team. You know, there's a shot right there at number 55, Mike Hammer, sitting on the bench, and I want to talk a little bit about him. He's a kid that he's got a blown out ACL, and he's out there braced up and taped up. He didn't want to miss the game. He's not going to have surgery until the game's over.
On first down, Adrian gives it to the big man Koplo, and he lumbers his way forward for a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
You know, Adrian has answered every time. You know, they have not given up or done anything close to that. You know, they're behind now again by 2 scores. It's just that second score keeps putting them under. So they've got to get one in here pretty quick.
And you really don't want to get in a shootout with Minneota because they've got the bazookas and they're tough to outscore, as Nowotny brought down at the line of scrimmage, and he may be banged up a bit. Getting up slowly. Looks like Longton there fell right on top of him, Corbin.
Yeah, anytime that happens, you can get the wind knocked out of you real easy if you land on the football or land awkwardly on your shoulder, because you're falling weird because you're trying to hold on to a ball at the same time you get a big guy landing on top of you.
Well, this could be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Adrian Dragons are down by 14. Total yardage numbers are skewed in the direction of Minneota. And there's a big-time hit. They tried to get it over the middle to Loneman, but he was popped good on that. Stick was Daring, the quarterback, and the safety on defense.
Yeah, they've been trying to get Loneman in here on offense and making you know, some plays happen. And he was really exposed on that play. It was a quick hitting pass play, and so we hope he's okay.
All right, 3 quarters in the books. Minneota beneath the big top of the Metrodome, downtown Minneapolis. Prep Bowl 28, Eric Nelson, Corbin Messina with you. And a cast of thousands here on Channel 45, all hands on deck. And Minneota leading 35-21 as we've completed 3 quarters. 3 touchdown passes for Derrick and 2 touchdown runs for Anderson. It's gone about like you might think if you're a Minneota fan. And the Dragons on 4th and 4 will punt it away. Dickman with the kick, and it'll take an Adrian bounce. And it'll roll dead right at the 20-yard line.
It was good to see Loneman able to walk himself off the field. I know before break he was down, got injured reaching up for a pass. And you know, you find that in these championship games, you know, you put your best players on the field. And why is Loneman out there trying to catch a pass? Well, because he's probably one of your best players on your team. And so you'll see that at a lot of different levels. And so it was good to see him able to get off the field on his own 2 feet.
And Derrick ready to go again at quarterback for Minneota. There's the handoff to Sheedle. And Sheedle runs it out to the 30. That'll be a pickup of 10. And very good first down gain, which will result in another first down on the 10-yard pickup by Sheedle. We were talking about the three-peat team that Minneota had back in the late 80s. Chris Might was the quarterback then for the Vikings. He's now the quarterback's coach of the Washington Redskins under Jim Zorn. As this is a first down run on the carry. I believe that's Anderson. Pickup of 7. Fourth quarter here in Minneapolis. Minneota has never trailed. And again, they give it to Brandon Anderson. And he runs it out right around the 40. I think he's going to be just shy of the first down.
Yeah, and you see that, you know, the coach of Adrian there trying to get his players riled up, because with the clock ticking, you know, in Minneota's weapons, they're just eating up the clock right now. So Adrian's got to make something happen.
3rd and 1, jumbo package. Anderson, first down and more to the 44-yard line. Finally brought down by Luzbrock, but not before the Vikings get another first down. And really, the nightmare scenario, if you're a Dragons fan, would be a long, time-consuming drive for the Vikings that ends up in points.
Yeah, it does, because it's just, you know, Adrian has answered most of the day, but eventually we're just going to get to a point where there's just not enough time.
Here's Sheedle. Sheedle. He's popped pretty good right at the line of scrimmage. Dragons doing a good job there as Luzbrock also again in on the tackle. Well, Minneota trying to run the table. A Viking win would bring the Class A championship trophy to Minneota for the first time since 1988. Also, it would cap off a perfect season, and they would be 14-0. And there goes Anderson. Anderson inside the 45 to the 44, a gain of 11, and I think the Vikings are starting to sense that their time has come.
You know, Jacob Cheadle there, nice block there to spring the running back, and so he's contributing as a blocker as well. And so, yeah, I mean, right now it's just how do you stop them? It's Minneota, and what I like about what Minneota's doing is they're managing this game very well right now with the lead.
And Derrick will keep it himself. And Derrick able to scoot for 5 or 6, and then he's pushed out of bounds in front of that Dragon bench. I would think now, Corbin, if you're on the Adrian side of the football, you got to be thinking turnover. And if they're going to stay on the ground, you have to be trying to punch that ball out.
Yeah,
and strip it or take it away.
They've got to get a guy in there to stand him up, and the next guy goes right for the ball. You know, put your head on the ball, put your fist on the ball. Do whatever you can to knock it out at this point.
6-yard run on the QB keeper for Derrick. Sheedle trying to bounce outside, and he does just enough to pick up yet another first down. Nowotny in on the stop, but the clock now no longer an ally of the Adrian Dragons. 8:49 to go in the fourth. They're down by 14, and they do not have the football. Both these teams out of the Little Sioux Conference in southwest Minnesota. Brandon Anderson rumbling his way down to the 25. That's a pickup of 8 or 9 for Anderson. And he is quietly putting up big yardage numbers on the ground.
We're getting a nice pull out there by the guard, nice outside trap, and Anderson's able to read it, getting upfield like he's been doing, you know, all season long. And the game management of Minneota right now is absolutely textbook. They're playing so well with the lead. They're choosing the right plays. They're eating up the right amount of time.
Now it's Noyes getting the carry, and Noyes running for a first down and more. Now Brandon Anderson, 14 carries on the day, 72 yards for Chad Johnston and the Minneota Vikings. So the Minneota Vikings have made themselves right at home in the home of the Minnesota Vikings, and I guess that's only fitting as a timeout is being taken by the Adrian Dragons. We will take a break too. Vikings up by 2 touchdowns on Channel 45. And we're about halfway through quarter number 4. Vikings have the lead and the ball, and they give it to their workhorse Brandon Anderson, and he gets about a yard. Good penetration there by the Dragons. Shooting into the gap was Tyler Sieve. Guy like Anderson, you got to bring a lot in the box, don't you, Corbin?
Yeah, you got to play that, you know, and that's what's so tough dealing with these guys, because we know what Derrick can do through the air, but you know, at the same time, what can Anderson do on the ground?
12th play of this drive. The pitch and the run left on the carry was Sheedle, but what great defensive penetration there by Adrian's.
Looked like
Tyler Sieve, yeah.
Tyler Sieve, nice job. We haven't heard much about him today, but he really attacked the ball carrier very well on that play.
No gain, so 3rd down and 10. There's Sieve. 5'9", 160-pound senior for the Adrian Dragons. They're in the gun. Sheedle in motion left to right. Going to throw back. Derrick has Noyes. And Noyes will do it again. The catch and then some yak. And it's a 19-yard hookup for the score. We saw that earlier when Noyes had the 20-yard catch from Derrick. This one a little easier.
Yeah, a little easier. We had a misdirection. Everybody to the right. And Sam Derrick coming back to the left. Noyes kind of sneaking out of there. Little hidden ball trick, and he's coming out, run after the catch, like you said, so important. He's able to dodge the defender, beat the defender's momentum, and had a real easy jaunt into the end zone.
Santos, despite the high snap, able to kick it through, and it's now 42-21. So the Viking fans are probably saying, what's wrong? We're 9 points below our average of 51 a game. But they're on their way to a title on Channel 45. Today's game summary is brought to you by Touchstone Energy Cooperatives of Minnesota. Well, the Minneota Vikings, Corbin, an offensive juggernaut, leading 42-21. They've scored on all 6 possessions this game.
You know, and they've done it in a lot of different areas. They've thrown the ball, they've run the ball, they've handed off to about 3 or 4 different guys. And, you know, Adrian has been able to hang into this game up until this point, but just now it's 3 scores, and they've got to make something happen quick.
Derink with 4 touchdown passes in the game, up to 34 on the season. Kilgore on the return for Adrian. Brought down at the 37-yard line. On the trip up was Derink, who's done a lot, as you can imagine, at quarterback, at safety, and on special teams. And I'll tell you what, I'm impressed by Noyes. We talked a lot about Anderson, and we talked a lot about Derink and that group. But Noyes with not only good catches, but the yak after the catch.
Yeah, and for a big man at 6'4" to get out in space, you know, that was a really nice job avoiding that defender.
Halfback option, Dickman. And he's looking for Kilgore, but he one-hopped him a little bit short. And it'll be second down. 6:13 to go in the 4th. Adrian down by 21, so the Vikings have doubled up the Dragons.
You know, and Adrian going into the bag of tricks here, trying to make something happen quickly. You know, unfortunately, those aren't plays that you practice a lot, you know, during the week. You know, these are desperation plays.
Nowotny. He wanted Kilgore on kind of a jump ball pass. Kilgore wants a flag, he won't get it. And that's pretty solid coverage there by Sheedle down the far side of the field.
Yeah, you know, if Nowotny could have maybe thrown that, you know, to the back of Kilgore a little more, make him come back and get the ball where the defender can't, you know, he's got more of a chance of catching that pass. But right idea, you know, let's get it to the big man, Kilgore at 6'7". You let him come down with it.
3rd and 10. And give the Adrian fans credit. They are on their feet trying to cheer on their Dragons, down by 21. The pump fake, the throw again to Kilgore. He had it and then dropped it right in front of the Dragons bench. I'm not sure, even if he catches it, he has the first down. Noyes with the hit.
Yeah, it didn't look like he caught it. Right idea, good protection up front. Trying to take advantage of that sideline, then we can get the clock stopped a little bit, but I don't think he came down with the ball.
You're right, no possession.
Yeah, nice shot there by Noyes.
So on 4th and 10, from their own 36, the Dragons have no choice, down by 21. And they got to go. 6:01 to go in the 4th.
See if they get it in Dickman's hands here.
The sprint out to the right. Down he goes. Bag him up. It's a sack for Minneota. Kirka on the tackle.
Got a flag down.
Let's see what the call is.
Illegal shift on the offense. Decline. First down.
So the Vikings are going to take over, and they are 5 minutes and 44 seconds away from it. Well, it's been an indoor fireworks show underneath the Teflon roof of the Metrodome for Minneota. The Vikings doing it through the air. Derink, 4 touchdown passes and a couple of touchdown runs for Brandon Anderson. He's up to 34 on the year, and that Prep Bowl title that the Vikings haven't won since '88, it's in their sights. Noyes stacked up by Loneman. Now, you played in a Prep Bowl title game, Corbin, back in '89. You were on a team that lost the championship game for Cretin-Derham Hall. When you're in this spot, when you kind of know the inevitable, What are you thinking?
Well, you know, for us at the time, we had lost the game by 1 point on a late call, you know, late in the game. But when you're a team like this, you know, the way that Minneota has set themselves up, you know, now it's all smiles in the huddle. You know, it's don't drop the ball, don't fumble the ball. Everybody stay on sides, and let's go home with a state championship. So right now there's a lot of smiles in that huddle. They're coming out. They're starting to smell that victory, which is only about 4.5 minutes away at this point.
3rd and 3, and they've got movement on the Minneota offensive line. Looked like somebody jumped. It may have been
looked like Justin
Jacob
Fox
Horner or Fox. Yeah,
Fox 62 looked like on the end here.
So that'll move them back 5. It'll be 3rd and 8. Line of scrimmage now the 32. Chad Johnston done a great job this year for Minneota, trying to cap off a perfect season. Anderson running hard, churning his legs down to the 24. Tackle made by Luzbrock. Clock moving, 4:15 to go in the 4th. The Minneota Vikings were in the Prep Bowl also in '93 and lost to Monoman, so they have not won it since '88. They're 3-1 overall in Prep Bowl games, trying to go to 4-1. Garrett running left and moving the pile to the 19. That'll be a first down for Minneota. Well, he's a tough guy quarterback, isn't he?
He sure is. And you know, this team was almost put together to take this state title. You know, the system's been around a long time. And, you know, one of their coaches, Matt Mervick, was the quarterback and the last team to make it to the state. And so the system has been here in place for quite some time, and they've just really been, as a staff, waiting for the right players, the right chemistry of kids to make everything work. And so you can tell that they knew that early on in the season. You know, they had the big win over Adrian early on. They've had multiple 50-point games throughout the season. And so it's almost like this is their destiny at this point.
Yeah, it sure seems that way with 3:19 to go. Timeout taken by the Vikings. They're up 42-21. You look at some of the scores they've put up this year. 43 against Adrian week 1. 52 against Fulda. They beat Lakeview Cottonwood 71-0 in September. They drubbed Canby 71-zip in September. They had a 51-point game against Renville County West in October. They had a 77-0 absolute whitewashing of Lakeview Cottonwood back in late October. They put up 49 last week against the Blooming Prairie Awesome Blossoms. They've got 42 here today. They average over 50 points a game. The average winning margin is over 40 a game. So offensively, they are impossible to stop, and now we're going to see a lot of the backups in for Minneota here. Some substitutions made by head coach Johnston, and that's Swedzinski. Here's your play of the game. Watch the glue finger grab by Noyes, and then he will walk the tightrope into the end zone. Wow, great balance. The play of the game is brought to you by Arrow Buick Pontiac GMC, home of the Larry Reed Advantage, where you can buy with confidence and savings. So wholesale substitution by Chad Johnston. Good move, Corbin. You get a lot of kids to play in a Prep Bowl championship situation.
Yeah, I mean, these are memories you're never going to forget. You know, as a young kid, as a player, everybody's their goal at the beginning of the season is to get to this game. And when you can get most of your guys in, that's even better.
All right, the player of the game is brought to you by Appliance Smart. If you did not buy from Appliance Smart, you paid too much. And there he is, courtesy of his 4 touchdown passes, Sam Derrick your player of the game. What a spectacular day he's had. Bo Bicey is in at quarterback now. We're under 2 minutes to go. Clock moving. And they're going to give it to Swedzinski. And he gets 1 or 2. But it's all academic now. The folks in Minneota, out in southwestern Minnesota, can start the party. Adrian, you know, they hung in there. They just didn't have enough firepower.
You know, they really did, and early on in the game, they were able to answer just about every time. You know, Minneota got up by the 2 scores early on, but Adrian always seemed to find a way to come back. Big play here, sack, knockdown, big play offensively. They're able to come back, but they can just never reduce that margin less than 2 scores.
Swedzinski run down by Tyler Hornstein of the Dragons. So Chad Johnston and his group, it'll be a very ecstatic bus ride back to Minneota, Minnesota. Again, located in the southwest corner of the state. Enrollment 160 for Minneota. 183 the enrollment at Adrian. And hey, you know, these teams played the opening game. They're playing this championship game. They will begin next season in late August when the Little Sioux Conference kicks off another campaign in 2010. So they get to know each other very well. And now we've got the change of possession, and the new quarterback for Adrian is Mitchell Sieve. And a timeout taken by the Dragons. 1:06 to go in the 4th. As Derink and the Vikings closing in on the 4th Prep Bowl championship in Minneota school history. When you think about that, in a 1-week span, to have your volleyball team runner-up and then your football team winning it all, that's good stuff. All right, here are the Minneota touchdowns. Brandon Anderson, 19-yard run. Derink, touchdown pass to Kirka. Derink had 3 more after the Kirka TD hookup, and boy, he's been the story, hasn't he?
You know, he could even more. You know, Derink could have sat back there and just lit this place up, statistically throwing the ball. You know, I give credit to Minneota and their staff on their game management. They knew how to play like champions today. They were able to eat up the clock when they needed to, because when you've got a quarterback as good as Derink, it's tempting. It's tempting to sit back there and just let him throw the ball and pick people apart and look good and move down the field. But Minneota did a fine job today of managing the clock, using their running game, and doing a nice job of getting another state championship today.
Well, you can see the sidelines ready to erupt for the Minneota Vikings, as they can watch the clock tick down. How about this, Corbin? In the 4th quarter, Adrian had the football less than a minute. 59 seconds. That's a great stat from Jeff here in the booth. And that may be the telltale stat in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and that's that management. I mean, that's a championship team there. I give a lot of credit to Minneota and their staff. Adrian had a great season, but today Minneota's the champion.
And we're under 10 seconds to go, and the Minneota Vikings are going to be your Class 1A champions. A resounding 42-21 win. Let the party start in Minneota. They are the Prep Bowl champions for the 4th time in school history. And the teams now out on the field turf, exchanging handshakes. And it really was a kind of a surgical dissection by Minneota of Adrian. I mean, the Dragons hung around, but anytime it got remotely close, the Vikings put the pedal to the metal and they drove away.
Yeah, and that shows because of their weapons, you know, who they could go to, you know, with Kirka and Derink and Anderson and Noyes, you know, just a bunch of guys that are some real good ball players, making some great plays. And so, you know, Adrian came to play, there's no question. Adrian came to play. Minneota just had a little bit more firepower today than Adrian did, and so that's why they're the champs.
Derink and Anderson will probably grab the headlines again, and deservingly so. But Tony Noyes with those 2 touchdown catches, including our play of the game, where he makes the spectacular, you know, fingertip grab, and then he's able to walk the tightrope down the sidelines and get by 2 tacklers for a TD. Those are the kind of scores that when they happen to you, they are very tough to overcome.
They are, and you know what else Noyes did a nice job today? He made some big hits on defense. He caused a couple of balls, you know, to not get received, to knock some balls out on some of the Adrian receivers. So Tony Noyes doing it on both sides of the ball today.
All right, let's go downstairs for the trophy presentation.
Ron Larson of St. Francis, Rick Bleckner of Evansville, Mindy Sparby of New Richland, and John Kleinert of Fergus Falls. They will be assisted by the Minnesota State High School League Executive Director Dave Stead and the Associate Director of the State High School League, Kevin Merkel. Players and coaches from each team will receive individual medals. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, silver medals and the Class 1A runner-up second place trophy will be awarded to the Adrian Dragons. Will the captains please come forward to receive your silver medals and runner-up trophy. Record of 11-3. Section 3 champions, runner-up 2009 Class 1A, the Adrian Dragons. Congratulations to Adrian, head coach Randy Strand, his staff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the champions receiving gold medals and the championship trophy for Class 1A in 2009 are the Minneota Vikings. Congratulations to the players and their coach Chad Johnson and his coaches and the fans. Perfect record of 14-0, Section 5 champion, and 2009 Class 1A champion, the Vikings of Minneota. Congratulations to the Vikings. And also congratulations to both.
All right, Minneota, welcome to Perfectville. 14-0, you run the table, and it was convincing today, Corbin Messina, 42-21. That trophy is going to where it should go at Class 1A. The Vikings were dominant.
They justly deserved. They came in here, they controlled all facets of the game. They used all of their offensive weapons. They were able to run the ball, throw the ball, were very clean on the turnover giveaway ratio, and they're the champions today.
And Sam Derink, their gunslinging quarterback, big numbers, 4 touchdown passes, 159 yards. He was very accurate, 9 of 11. And we talked a lot about Brandon Anderson. He had 86 yards on the ground, 2 more touchdowns. He finishes with 34 touchdowns this year.
You know, and he was a weapon that Adrian was concerned about coming into this game as somebody to stop. But, you know, with Derink, with his high quarterback ratio today and the things he was able to do, and he could have done better. You know, Minneota chose to manage the game as winners towards the end. Derink could have really lit this place up statistically.
All right, there's the snapshot for Class 1A 2009 Prep Bowl. Minneota Vikings are your champions, winning 42-21 over the Adrian Dragons. Corbin, it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a pleasure.
I'd like to thank everybody who's helped make this possible. All the assistants in the booth, down in the truck. And coming up next, it'll be Dave and Daryl as Prep Bowl 28 continues. You're on your exclusive home for the Prep Bowl Channel 45.
The postgame show is brought to you by AAA Minneapolis. Great savings, peace of mind, all from your AAA. Hey, let's join Leah B. Olson. She's down on the field with the champions.
All right, Coach. Well, how exciting for you. You bring a championship back to Minneota. It's been a while since you guys had one. Your first one, what does it feel like?
This is huge. This is huge. I'm happy for a group of kids. This group has put a lot of time in to be where they're at right now, and so right now I'm just kind of happy for them. I'll settle down a little bit later, but this senior group has worked so hard to be here that right now I hope they just soak it all up.
It was an exciting game to watch. Adrian stuck with you for a while. At any time, were you nervous about that in the first half?
Yeah, we felt like early in the first half we got a couple defensive stops, but unfortunately we had a couple big plays on a pass play and then a muff punt, which kind of set up their 2 touchdowns. But they definitely had us reeling. It was a good thing our offense was clicking on all 4 cylinders, so they answered when we needed them to.
What has it been like for you to coach this perfect season from beginning to end?
It's hard to say. Obviously, every coach dreams of this type of situation. Going into this year, we knew with this group that we had a great possibility of doing it. So you kind of expect it, but in the same right, it's just a great feeling. All
right, Coach, thanks so much for your time. We'd like to talk to your quarterback now, if that's okay. All right. Well, sir, you were the player of the game. You played fantastic, and you played like you had the confidence out there that you knew you could do what you had to do.
Oh, yeah, you know, everybody did a great job. You know, my receivers, they caught the ball good for me, and then my offense line protected me very good, so I had time in the back there to find my open receivers.
Talk about this season from beginning to end. I asked your coach this question, but it was a perfect season, very rare. Must be exciting to have that.
Oh, yeah, exciting. You know, coming in the year, our goal was a state championship because we knew we had the players and the playmakers to do it, and, you know, we just worked hard all year and got it done.
Talk about some of your teammates who made this happen today.
Oh, Brandon Anderson, he was playing with a little injury, and Mike Hammer, he has a very bad knee injury, and, you know, just having people like that step up big, and it gives you a little more confidence, you know, having them being leaders, you know.
Well, congratulations. You are the 1A champions. Congratulations again, Sam.
Thank you.
All right. Phil, we're going to take it back to you.
All right. Thanks, Leah. Phil Aldridge. I'm joined by Justin Kazemius. And Justin, very few times in life do you get a chance to be perfect.
Oh, man.
Minneota opened the season with a win over Adrian, and they close out a perfect 14-0 season, beating Adrian today in the title game.
Well, here is a program that was dominant in the late 80s, winning championships in 86, 87, and 88. It's been a while, and it's taken them a long time to get back to the Prep Bowl, but they come out with a perfect season, and more importantly, their first state championship since 1988.
We were talking about before the game how difficult it is to beat a team twice. Minneota, though, just too powerful.
Well, Adrian slowed them down, but you can only slow them down too much. And again, when you spotted them a 14-0 lead early in the game, while they did claw back, it was just too much to overcome.
So Minneota, they are the 1A state champions for 2009. You saw it all right here on 45. Don't go anywhere, folks. We have 2 more huge football games coming up in Prep Bowl 28. You're watching it exclusively only on 45.